Hello, and welcome back to Lani G Speaks, the podcast. Before we get into anything, welcome and we're welcome back. Let me get that out of the way. If you are watching on YouTube, you may notice a different background. It is because I am visiting my peoples, and I'm not at home. I don't feel right showing somebody else's house. That's not mine. So we got a different background today. And also, because I am not at home, I do not have my podcast mic. I did not pack it. I thought about it. It didn't fit. And I also just didn't want to damage it. I don't feel like buying a new microphone. But, it's okay. Because I started out this podcast this way, actually recording into my phone with headphones. So you all will be okay listening to this quality for just 2 weeks. So it's this week and next week. But all right, now that that's out of the way, hello, welcome. I hope you are doing well. I hope this episode finds you in a place of ease, peace, and joy. And if it didn't find you in those places, I hope that something you hear today brings you one of those things. So we're going to get into it. If you see the title of today's episode, it came to me, let go, let God. And I am sharing today's episode. I had to find it, honestly. You know that little meme? Is it a meme or is it a video? Whatever the hell. And they'd be like, I'm finding it. I have to find it today. In my efforts to remain consistent, I cannot only move when I'm inspired. I am doing my best to hold myself accountable to the things that I said I was going to do. One of those things I actually did, I know last week we talked about, are you full of shit? And I had discovered that I was full of shit and I was getting my shit together. One of those things I worked on today, actually. I told y'all that one of the things was like getting my health in order and things like that. And one of the things that I feel like will help me with that is getting a dietitian. So I recommend you look into that if you have health insurance. It is covered by, I think, most health insurances. I don't know. It's covered by mine. And it was an interesting first meeting. It was a lot of questions, made me feel vulnerable. But a similar also, y'all, I am via train. So if you hear that in the background, I'm sorry. I am not at home, but we are remaining consistent. The message will still be important. The message will still be given. Okay. But yeah, so I got a dietitian, and yes, it was vulnerable for me because it was similar. How am I eating? How I feel about my eating and like talking about my eating habits and things that I do in that nature is similar to how I felt when I had a financial coach and I was talking to her about my habits as it pertains to my spending. Very, I feel like, tender things to discuss with someone who you don't know. But also I feel like super helpful because they don't know me. And they don't have this like added context of like why they like offering advice. It's literally because they're the expert at what they do. And I feel good about that. Like when I had a financial coach, and we're going to get into today's topic, but I also go where spirit leads me. Talking with my financial coach about my spending habits was very vulnerable for me and honestly a little triggering, but for talking with someone who doesn't know me and just is observing what the hell they see from me was super helpful rather than talking to somebody who knows me and like being like, girl, like it felt a little less shameful. Although shame did come up when I said I would do something and I didn't do it and things like that. But today was the first meeting with the dietitian, and she started off saying like, do not feel like you need to ghost me or like, not show up for a call if you don't do something that you said you were going to do. Like, that's normal, whatever. So I'm like, okay, this is, I feel like I'm learning to just humanize myself as an overcoming, recovering perfectionist. Sometimes I think I'm just like supposed to always get it right, supposed to never make a mistake. And that's just not realistic. And that's not real life. And it's not a fair standard to hold myself to. And so that kind of is related to today's topic of let go, let God, where I am in my life, where I'm learning how to surrender in many ways. I do believe that when I set an intention or I ask God for help with something, I get the help by putting me in a situation where that help can happen. So if I'm asking for patience, I get put in situations where my patience is tested. If I'm asking for faith, I'm in a situation where my faith is being tested so that I can learn to exercise that muscle. And so for me, I know that for a few different things in my life that are very important to me, I'm having to surrender, and I've asked for help and support with like helping me surrender and to not feel like I need to control every single thing and not try to control every single thing. And so here we are. So like I said, I'm visiting. So I'm visiting my family. Y'all know I'm from Chicago, so whatever. I'm in Chicago visiting family. Very happy to be seeing some of them. I came back here to see my niece graduate, and I feel just like blessed for that. But with traveling and with seeing family, things can not go as you plan them. And so it started out that way this time, just like any other. My travels, like nothing was delayed, but like things that were just happening that were like not in my control, that made me a little frustrated, that I had to be like, okay, we're gonna do what we can. We're gonna focus on what we can focus on, and that's it. That's it. And especially being, in space that is not mine, like I've gotten very used to, which I think we all do, your own rituals, your routines, your things that help you to stay grounded, your things that make you feel good. Even just like the things like my tea, normally the tea that I have every day. I'm not about to buy a whole box of that tea because I'm not going to be here to drink all the tea. So I'm just going to use what I have available, which is another, resourcefulness. I think also it could be resiliencies, like being able to navigate different situations and deal with difficulty. But it's really, for me, it's learning to go with the flow. Look at them. You heard the horns. I That's something I definitely struggle with. If I have a plan in my mind and things don't go according to that plan, I don't even want to do it anymore. And that's not realistic. Again, I say that's just not real life. And so I really just wanted to share that with you in case there's anybody that's listening out there that, and I'm looking out a window right now, so it's very nice for me. It feels comforting to just not look at myself. Normally when I'm recording this, I'm sitting at my desk, and behind you, what I'm looking at on YouTube is a wall of affirmations. So this is just, it may be a little distracting. ADHD is not happy right now, but I kind of feel like just going off the cuff, like just, is it cuff or cusp? I don't know. Sharing what's on my heart. And so that was one thing that was on my heart. Also, something that has come up for me recently is like, I guess it's also in alignment with letting go and let God, is like, you don't have to agree with everybody on everything. Like, even people you care about, even people you love, like, just because you love them and they may be closer to your heart, that doesn't mean that you all will agree on everything. And I think learning to disagree healthily is so important as it pertains to having like a less stressful life. I think we meaning me, can make our lives more stressful when we get upset that people don't agree with us. Or I don't think it's necessarily like a bad thing to be upset somebody doesn't agree with you, because you would hope that people you care about think the way you do and like feel the way you do. Like, it just feels better when like, you're in community with people who have a like mind. But I think holding on to the fact that you don't agree about something, or you don't live your life the same way, or you're not into the same things across the board, is you're doing yourself a disservice. Diversity, we all talk about, right? I know that them people in that place in DC, in that house, is trying to say a whole bunch of things about diversity being a bad thing. But diversity comes in more ways than just skin color, which nobody can, whatever. We're not going to go there. I think diversity in opinion is good as long as it's not rooted in like hate or, things that just are not healthy. Like, you can disagree about certain things without it going left. And so for me, that's something I'm working on too. And like, also standing my ground if I disagree with something. Like, I used to live my life trying to agree with everybody. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want you to be uncomfortable. But meanwhile, I'm uncomfortable because I don't want you to be uncomfortable. And I don't think that's fair to me. And I don't think that's fair to you if you live your life that way. Like, it's okay for us both to be in the discomfort. And it's gonna happen. Actually, I'm gonna let us sit there. And I remember, like, the first time that I started to test that, of like, let's both be in the discomfort together, was with my family, when I first started my healing journey, like, in an intentional way. Like, I wasn't just like going through things and like learning lessons. Like, I was very intentional about, like, I would really like to grow in this way. I would really like to challenge myself. I'm recognizing this about myself, and this is what I want to do about it. And I was living with family after. If you're new to my story, this is good. Obviously, this is gonna be new to you. If you have heard it a million times before, I'm sorry. It resonates, and it goes with a lot of things. But I had, not even that it goes with a lot of things, but I graduated with my master's, could not get a job for a reason that I probably alluded to in past episodes that I'm not going to get into today. And I had to move back in with family, didn't have any money, was like very dependent on my family. And at the same time, going through this entire transformation about like who I am as a person, who I am as a woman, who it is that I want to be, what type of life do I want to live, and all the things. And at the same time, being back in, like, kind of going back in time with my family, who saw me a very specific way. And as I'm evolving in front of them in real time, it was a lot of friction, y'all. It was a lot of friction. And I had to decide what I wanted to do. I had to decide, is this the way I want to live my life? Do I want to live my life just worried about making them happy, meaning my family, making sure that they didn't think negatively of me, worried so much about like being perceived positively by them, when no matter what I did, it really didn't. Like, I feel like sometimes spirit works that way. It's like, you're doing too much this way, like, no matter what you do, it's still gonna go left. How about that? Like, how about that? And so I finally got to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm just who I am, and y'all gonna have to accept it or you're not. Period. Now, being here 5 years past that, it feels easy because I did it already. I mean, and it still happens, right? Like, I'm still around my family, and I don't live with my family. I don't even live in the same city with any of my family members. So, like, it's a lot of times where I've evolved, and then I go hang out with my family again, evolve, go hang out. And they're doing the same thing, right? They're evolving and changing, and we're all still getting to know each other as we age and as we're adults and things like that. And like, that is another thing. I feel like all of this is in the theme of like letting go, letting God, surrendering. I am changing. I am changing. Okay. Finally, wait, do I remember the lyrics? Dream Girls, if you got it, if you know, you know, okay. But I'm changing before my very eyes. And it is jarring because it's not like I'm not being the person initiating the change. And that is frustrating as a person who likes to be in control. And so, like, part of that is aging. Like, I'm noticing my body's doing different things. I feel differently about things. I'm recognizing society in a different way. Like, I cannot control the fact that I'm aging. I can't stop it right here. I can't go back in time. I can't go forward in time. I can only be right here and observe what's happening right here. And that is, I feel like, the biggest test of me in surrendering is being the observer for a little while, paying attention for a little while, and then doing something about it, and or doing nothing about it. Because like I said, with this specific thing, ain't nothing I can do. I just gotta keep going every day, because my mama always said, if you ain't getting older, you're dead. So I don't want to die. So I have to continue to live and just observe myself, and also just be present with whatever is happening in that moment. And excuse me, I struggle with that. And if you are somebody who also struggles with that, I'm sending you love, because, child, did I bring my water? Oh, I'm sending you love, because it's a process. And this is a process of you letting go, letting God, surrendering, as I trust the flow of my mind. at this time for this podcast episode. But I really think that's it. I'm not going to hold y'all too long because I just hit my move goal for the day. I don't know what prompted that, me reaching for my water bottle. But I just wanted to share those things. In the effort, in the name of consistency, I'm showing up. No matter what percentage I'm at, today was not a high percentage of inspiration and having a really big heart-led topic to share. But what did come up for me was letting go, letting God, surrendering. And so I hope that whoever listens to this, that you got something from this and that you can allow yourself to be where you are, surrender to what is happening right now, release control, focus on what you can control. You know, if it's drinking water, staying hydrated, you drink your water. Okay. If you can't control how much sleep you get every day and you want to get more sleep, just thank God for the sleep that you did get. Okay. Make sure them hours is the good few hours that you can get. You know, do what you can to be okay with where you are. Do you hear this noise? This is jarring. But anyway, okay, I'm gonna relax now. Alrighty, that's all I have to share. I hope that you have a wonderful week. I will see you next week, and prayerfully, prayerfully, I will have more eloquent words to share. Yeah, let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about as well. You know, I am a life coach. I am a woman who is on her healing journey, have been for years. I have a lot of wisdom to share as a Black woman who's on that healing journey, as a Black woman who's navigated, you know, learning how to set boundaries with myself first and foremost, learning how to be compassionate with myself, kind to myself. There's many things I can talk about. So I am taking requests. I will take requests. So yes, but I'm sending you love. I pray you have a great day, a great week, and I will see you next week. Kisses and love to you.